What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, we're going to be doing my first ever guide on the infamous legendary champion, the face of Teleria in Arbiter. Now this is a High Elves champion, Void Affinity, legendary of course, and she is attainable for free by completing milestone rewards from the mission section. When you first start the game and you kind of do all of the missions, and she was the final one, before they prolonged it to kind of get Ramantu now, which I still haven't got, but we'll save that discussion for another day. But let me know guys, how many of you actually acquired your Arbiters? And if not, what mission are you on right now that you're kind of stuck on or trying to do at the moment to get your Arbiter in the future? Now in today's video, I kind of want to do a basic guide, so things to look out for, gear sets that you might be overlooking, and the kind of stats that you want to be focusing on when you first attain your Arbiters, or even just to increase the value of the ones you've already had for a long time. And maybe you're thinking, how can I get my Arbiter faster? So hopefully today, give you a few tips and tricks, and let's get right into the video. So Arbiter, let's break down a kit. So with the A1 ability, with the Gaze of Justice, can attack one enemy 2 times, and each hit has a 50% chance once booked of placing a 25% weakened debuff for 2 turns. Now this is a really solid A1, probably something that's not used towards the end game in many scenarios, but definitely has its use in the game. And if you don't have another weakened champion and you're trying to progress in maybe the Dragon for instance, weaken could be a really cool debuff to pair with that drop defense from your other champions, maybe a War Maiden or something like that, and have that 2 of the most crucial debuffs up at the same time to enable your other champions to nuke a lot harder. On the A2 ability with the Enforced Humility, can attack all enemies 1 time and has a 100% chance once booked of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. Now this is a really solid ability as well, and I find the most use for it at the moment would be maybe the Doom Tower, trying to strip some buffs, or even in PvP, getting rid of those Swift Parry sets or unkillable buffs, and trying to figure some other scenarios here. Maybe even the faction wars against some of the enemy waves. It's definitely a really nice A2 here on a 4-turn cooldown. So if we just head into the A3 ability now, the Mentor of Heroes, this is one of the skills that everybody's chasing because it enables you to potentially go first in the arena. And she can place a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, then fills the turn meters of all allies by 30% and heals all allies by 25% of their max HP if they have less than 50% HP. This is just remarkable, and if this is your first time getting an Arbiter or you're very close, you're definitely going to feel the impactfulness of this ability here. Turn meter boosting, if you are faster than the opposition's Arbiter, let's say, you'll be able to go first, increase your allies by 30%, and allow you to get your skills off before the other teams as long as you're speed tuned. And then also a heal as well. If you're kind of in a longer battle and she's revived with the other ability, enables you to get some healing out and get yourself back into the fight. With the Destiny's Call on the A4, can revive all dead allies to 35% HP, then fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%, will then grant an extra turn of this champion if an ally was successfully revived. So if you've got this skill on cooldown, you can come through with the Destiny's Call, revive everybody that's dead, lead into the Mentor of Heroes because of that extra turn, boost their turn meter and heal them even more, and then they can go through and do the abilities again, which is just really solid. On the Aura, can increase ally speed in arena battles by 30%, and I remember the first time when I got this, it was my only speed Aura apart from, I think it's a Jingle Hunter or something like 19%. Obviously a lot more speed Auras in the game now, but 30% is very substantial for sure. I can't think of many that's that high. Maybe a Lord Shazar at 32%, I believe. But yeah. So in terms of gears now, how have I built mine? How should you build yours? What kind of stats are you focusing on? Well, number 1 is going to be aim for speed and speed alone for your first ever Arbiter, right? There's many other ways to build her in the future, but the first thing is speed is key. You want to be going before your enemy Arbiters, so you can get in and have the upper hand. So what am I speaking about here? So if we just want to go into filters, let's just say, you click on here. Well, let me move myself out of the way for this one. I'll put myself here. So you go substat speed. And then this is kind of, let's just say this is your only speed gear, right? So then what you would do is go through and let's just say this piece. It's a 6-star legendary or something, but this is just a rare. If it's a rare piece, I would recommend going to 4. If you get the speed, you go to 8. And now we've got ourselves 17 speed on a chest plate. Now, there's many times where people they see flat attack, they see flat defense, but for somebody like an Arbiter, and you just want to go first in the arena, this isn't something you should be focusing on, especially when you first ever get one, and it's your initial build period. So right there, a piece that I may not have never used has now got 17 speed on it, and because it's 6-star, the glyph values are going to be huge if I can get a 6-star glyph for this. Same with other ones. So this one here, we've done it here. This one didn't really work out. Same here and all that good stuff. So kind of speed is key. You get this from the Dragon's Lair. It's good to farm if you can, but don't put all of your energy just into the dragon, chasing speed gear just for one champion, because sometimes it is stats over sets, and you might be chasing a pure speed set when your account just doesn't allow you to at the moment. So one other piece would be, let's just go down here. So this is the Divine Speed set, and this is one that you can attain from the Gold Arena if you guys are lucky enough to be there. And I've had many of my best pieces from this. If you look here, triple speed on a piece like this. And I kind of do this with all of my substat speeds. So always on the lookout for more speed. See right there, something like that, I would sell that for me personally on my account. And I would just kind of go through all of my gear and just roll up to 4, roll up to 8, roll up to 12. And if you get yourself a double or triple roll, or potentially a quad roll, that's kind of the stats that you're looking for your Arbiter. Another set would be from the Forge. Now, one is going to be Swift Parry because you do get an 18% boost from having a 4-piece set on of Swift Parry. And also, this is really good because if you get outsped, and let's just say you get a nuke hypothetically, you don't have that 50% chance to get put with unkillable, so your Arbiter can get the revives off and potentially get you back into the fight. So having something like from a Forge piece gives you many chances to get speed gear, right? So right there, we got a 1 there. Potentially, if we go up to 12, we can get some more. Another example would be the Perception set. Now, Perception can give you, do you know what? Let's go into the Forge. So Perception can give you accuracy and speed +5. And this is allowing you to strip the buffs with that A2 ability, for instance, but also gives you a +5 speed here. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why on earth am I going to go Perception or Swift Parry over speed gear when the boosts aren't the same because you get 12% from a speed gear? Well, the simple answer is, you're not always going to get speed gear. It's resource intensive to consistently farm Dragon for a specific gear set. Unless super raids are on, that's kind of the only time I entice people to go full out for a gear set. So if it says super raids, speed sets in the Dragon, then of course, go for it. You might get yourself some lucky. But with this, you're kind of more controlled because as long as you're doing your faction wars every single day, getting your forged materials, you're going to get a bunch here. Like if you look here, I've got 345 pieces of Perception I can roll. And I probably farm so many on CVC periods, and it's just always there. Now, if I just move myself back here, so what you could do is you can get your rank charms, you can get your rarity charms. I'm not saying to do this on all gear sets, but stuff like Perception or Swift Parry is basically the two that I use it on, unless it's a specific Doom Tower piece like Guardian sets. And then you can get speed charms, so keep an eye out for these and don't use it on stuff like resilience gear. For me personally, speed charms, only the ones that gives me bonus speed in the stats themselves. So Perception and Swift Parry. So if we just go through here, let's just do a temple. So here we go. Legendary piece. 6-star legendary, guys. 6 stars. It's insane. Start pull 2 extra gold there. Look at all of this 6-star gold. Now, of course, this is more endgame materials. You might not get this from the early accounts. But let's just have a look here. We've got HP% with speed. I don't personally need that piece. We got speed with some attack percent and speed there. Look at this. Flat HP with speed, which could potentially be a quad roll. So something like this I would actually keep if I was building my first ever Arbiter and just try my luck on it. Because Doing this, you're getting more chances to get speed in your substats than you are from farming the dragon for like 2 years, in my personal opinion. And perception gear and swift parry was stuff that wasn't around when I first ever built my arbiter. Or maybe swift parry was, but definitely not with the perception. So we're just going through here. These are just pieces that I don't personally need. 5-star gear. What's this one? Okay, we never got lucky on that one. And this right here is my favorite gear set in the game. So if you guys are feeling bad about using your materials on a gear set like perception, which you shouldn't anyway, I use this on so many champions. Like, even if you get that infamous speed gear you've always wanted for your arbiter, you can just take it off and put it on someone else. Like, if I look on here, look how many champions have perception, right? So full out perception, 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 perception. It's on so many of my champions, so it's such a versatile kit. Even my Prince Kaimar has it on. So back into arbiter. Where is she? There she is. So in terms of how I built my one then, just so you guys can get a conception of more of an endgame build. Still not the fastest one in the world. We've gone for speed. We've got nice glyphs that I've kind of got over time. Speed, accuracy. We've got defense percent with speed. This is actually my best piece that I've had in 3 years, guys. That just kind of puts it into a mindset that you might not ever get a piece that you're chasing. And I don't want you guys to be held back on your progression because you're chasing a specific piece. Like this one here without the glyph, I've never had one. If I go here, look at this. Look, no speed. This is every single substat speed I've ever had. So we got this one, but the glyph on the other one was better. Look, single speed, no speed. We got a double here, but it's a 5-star. But this one had the glyph, which is why I haven't swapped it around. Speed. Even these are just 5 stars. And remember, this is my whole account. I've put equipped everyone. This is all I've ever got. We've then got attack percent on the chest plate with a triple roll speed. Speed on the boots with the divine speed set with the 2-piece. Speed on the banner here. I would have loved accuracy, but this is my fastest one. Defense percent, it doesn't really matter here. Just trying to get some sustainability. And HP percent, defense, and all that good stuff. Overall stats, mine is 354. So there is definitely much higher in the game, like close to 400 and above. But this is where I like to keep mine, personally. If I went through all of my gear, I could potentially get this a little bit higher. Or if that infamous glove ever wants to pop up on the Dragon's Lair, I might be able to get 370 or something. Accuracy, decent for faction wars, and the rest, just sustainability, HP percent, defense percent, just trying to keep her alive. So, alright then. Masteries, very important. I have gone the support tree, going down to the arcane celerity, because this has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. Now remember what she has on the A1, guys, a weakened debuff. So this just could give her a potential extra turn meter boost. Anytime that we can increase her turn meter is going to be beneficial here. We've also got the rapid response of a 30% chance to increase the turn meter when a buff cast by this champion is removed or expires. So to increase attack from an A3 ability. We've gone for Cycle of Magic to potentially get more skills out. Law of Steel to boost the base stats of our kits. We've gone Spirit Haste for when people dies to increase their speed. Lasting Gifts to keep that increased attack up. And then Timely Intervention, because increase this champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25%. So if you get hit, there's that potential for her to cut in and enable your champions to kind of get into a rhythm there. Defense tree mainly for sustainability and stuff, but you can go down to the offense if you really want to. So that is the gear, the masteries, and everything that I feel like you guys should know as a starter arbiter gearing process that you should know. And let's just get into some showcases. So one thing I really want to do before we do this actually is a big shout out to my man Deadwood Jedi. Let's just put this up here. Who actually has a speed calculator on his website and it's free to kind of access. And all you have to do is put in your arbiter with your arbiter lead at the top. I just put 300 speed just for test purposes. And this is basically the required build speeds that you would need for the champions not to get cut in from your opposition. Obviously, there's other scenarios where if you put a sleep up and all of the sleeps are up, then you can afford to have champions much slower because you know that they've got time to cycle through their abilities. But what I'll do is I'll leave this in the description below for you guys to go and check out. I believe he's got some guides on his YouTube channel and stuff as well. So make sure you go drop Deadwood Jedi a subscription. It's a really important tool here to kind of learn and play around with. You can even like select the skills that you're using, the champions you're using. They're all here for you guys to input. So let's go into the arena. So let's just talk about our traditional team here, which you guys may be using. So Arbiter lead, of course, you want the speed aura. You want that to happen. Now, second of all, for me personally, I think crowd control is a really solid option. So people like Umbral Enchantress or even Scylla the Drakes for the stun debuff. Or there's just many champions like provokes, stuns, sleeps from like a Prince Kaima. They're really viable options. So actually, do you know what? Let's just get a... Do you know, for the case of this one, let's just put an Arbiter, a Prince Kaima on for now. And then we kind of want to have like a drop defense champion. Preferably a Madam Ceres. But if not, you can just go with like a standard one. I'm just trying to find one here. That's kind of one that you guys can resonate with. Any drop defense champions here? All right, Stag Knight. There we go. So Stag Knight. Well, actually, do you know what? We can play around with Deacon later. And then... who else shall we use? Just trying to think who we got gear on. All right, let's just use Archmage Helmet. Why not? So this is kind of how you want your teams to go. So you're going to have your increased turn meter. Then you're going to go in with your crowd control champion, whether it be a stun, a sleep, or a provoke. If not, you can do other things like putting unkillable buffs on yourself, block damage. You can have shields, block debuffs from an Underpriest Brogni. I'm just trying to give a basic one, not to confuse you guys. Drop attack, drop defense. And then now, look at this one here. So now we can do the next turn meter effect here. And that's going to enable him to go before their Dark Hail. And now we're going to do an AoE. So boom, boom. And now we got more crowd control on that Zargala. Let's do an A1. And there we go. So that's kind of a basic team that you guys may want to build. Obviously not the same champions if you don't have them. But just to give you an idea. So let's just go into some actual teams now. This is Gold 5. So let's just go into an actual team that I would use. So this is kind of a more endgame scenario. So we're going to have the turn meter boost. I'm going to lock them out with a Kaima to increase their cooldowns. And now they can't do anything. A good substitute would be a Basher. And there we go. So in a team like this, it's a different scenario because we're not relying on drop defense or weaken because we've got an S-tiered nuker, which some of you guys may be lucky enough to have in Baron. And because we've locked out the skills, we don't have to worry about getting nuked back because they're limited to their A1 abilities. So increasing cooldowns and block active skills are two really like good abilities for crowd control as well. A little bit underrated with the block active skills, but it does require a lot of accuracy. All right, let's find another team. So I'm just trying to make some different combinations for you guys today. So let's just take... I want to take Warlord out. Obviously, that's not a good showcase. And let's just get a... Do you know what? We'll get a Chagor in there. Why not? This will be fun. So this is another example of a CC champion, which can play sleep debuffs. So boom. I'm going to come through. And now, because they're under a poison, we are going to be able to counterattack this if we don't get nuked. He's going to take the poison. We're going to increase our turn meter. Yeah, ally protect on. Boom. And that enabled us to go through. Now, the reason for this one is I want to showcase the revive. So I was making sure that we get nuked there. And now, there we go. We can strip the ability there. And oh my gosh, what was that? Blessing? Or was that new champion? That looked crazy. All right, Arbiter. So now we got the revive off and there's the extra turn. So I think this is a good way to showcase the skills in full of how it could work in the arena. Now we're going to come through with another nuke and we managed to finish them off there. So that was pretty cool. And actually, do you know what? I think I should show you presets. Let's just go into presets. So let's just say a team like this, right? So with the presets, I like to open up with my Mentor of Heroes and block off the A2. And you can first priority the Destiny's Call as well. But her AI is a little bit weird because if a champion isn't dead, she doesn't always like to do this, which could be a good thing. So one way that you could potentially do it is open with this, have this as a first priority, potentially, and then have this as maybe a second priority or a third priority. So actually, let me just do a proper one here. So you can go first here. You can go second choice here. And if by some chance your battle isn't finished by then, you can then put a third priority because you'll probably need to be reviving someone at this point. So next up here, we're going to go up against a team like this because it does have an unkillable buff. And hopefully that we can strip it, right? That'll be pretty cool. Let's get an increased attack on. Get a little cleanse out, block debuffs. We get a little nuke. And now we're going to get the provokes out. And now they can't do anything to us. They can only use their A1 abilities. We're going to come through, strip that off the skull crown. We got a little nuke off there from their skull crown. Now we're going to just do this. Take out their Gorgarab. And then just click auto, finish off the fight. So that's one other way that you could use that A2 ability to your advantage if you're facing unkillable buffs. Now, I do want to find a Valkyrie because that's very important as well. All right, very good example here. We're going to need a bit of a better nuker though. So in a case like this is one little trick for you guys. So against Arbiter, she has a passive where she can increase her turn meter according to the buffs. So just pay close attention to this here. You see that? Her turn meter increase, and you may see times where she cuts in and it gets really, really annoying. But now, if we end this battle, go back into the same one again. Where is it? So if we go into this next battle here, if you use this ability here first, against Valkyries in particular, no passive, no turn meter boosting, which enables you to just carry on the same trend you was doing. Get a little provoke out, in case they cut in, which they did. Because this team's not speed tuned, I'm just trying to put in different options so you guys have a bit of a fun video to watch. Then we're going to increase our turn meter on the second one because she's under the provoke, so she can't really do any shields or anything. Come through with the nuke and boom. Pretty much. So yeah, that's basically a basic guide to the Arbiters in the arena. One other thing would be a Torment, which is something you'd have to look out for. Let me just find one for you guys. Torment, where are you? Man, they're going to use all of my gems, but I need to do it for you guys. Every time that I hit this refresh button, you guys have to drop a like on the video. Oh god, where's all the Torments? Alright, there's one. There is one. So you need to be wary against this because very similar thing. If you're using the buffs here, watch this. Champions can get frozen, including herself. Which is where you want to have champions like Cleansers to come through, which we didn't have time to do in that one. So you just have to be wary of certain champions' passives that you're going up against when you're using these abilities. Because champions like Torment, if we go into the... Which faction is he? Dwarfs. So he's got this passive of having a 20% chance of placing a freeze debuff on the enemy each time they receive a buff or have their turn meter filled. So you need to be wary of passives like this. Very similar with the Valkyrie I was mentioning earlier. This champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each time an enemy champion places a buff. So that's why we use the A4 instead of the A3 in that particular scenario. Now, faction wars I can't show you today, unfortunately, but I'll leave you guys with a little dragon run. So, alright, let's just do a little team here. Let's just put something together for you guys. Ultimate Death Knight. Everybody should have one that's watching this video currently because he's free to attain for 7 days. Where is he? Ultimate Death Knight, where are you, buddy? There we go. And then, oh, do you know what? Let's get Genzin in there. We have to put him in the video. And then, who else shall we put in there? So, I don't know, guys. I don't know which champions are built on my account. Do you know what? We're getting Ugo in there instead for drop the fence. And then we're going to get a nuke. Who's a little decent nuker? All right, we'll just get a poisoner in there and we get a dot kill from the campaign. or the Doom Tower, should I say. So we're going to increase our turn meters, increase our attack. Go. There's the AoEs. And she's just going to keep us topped up, right? Keeping the turn meters going, enabling your champions to take more turns. And if one of them happen to die, she's there to pick them up. And we've only got a drop defense champion in this team. And that's going to pair really well with her A1 because she does the weaken, so we can get through the boss a lot more efficiently, right? So let's just get through to the boss. AoE's coming out. And this is kind of work, even in the Hydra boss, maybe a bit of a more endgame clan boss thing that you need to do. But once you guys get there, you can build her in different ways. If you guys want to see more of one of those guides, I may do one in the future. Today was just basically a basic guide to Arbiter. This is my first ever one. All right, here we go. So there's the weaken debuff, there's the drop defense. So now we've got both of those debuffs covered to enable us to get more ticks from our War Master and Giant Slayer masteries from our other champions. So yeah guys, that is going to be all for the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And let me know guys, have you got your speed increased from watching this video? Or let me know in the comment section how fast your arbiters are currently, because I'm intrigued to know what kind of speeds you are in the game. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and peace.